Okay, now I'm going to show you how I set my machine up on my NC machine to turn spark plug insulators. I showed you the little path. I sit down and do the cutter path. Now we're going to set up the machine. And the only thing I've done so far is I dialed in device. That's the only thing I've done. I'm going to put you in the tripod here, and we'll continue to set it up, and I'll show you all the steps that I go through. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pick up this back jaw, and the reason being that will that's like setting the height on your lathe of the tool, because my tool bit, if you can see it, the cutting surface is flush with this back side. It's just straight. And I am going to mount my tool bit over on the left hand side of the vise. Well, wait a minute. I'm doing all in plus, so I will have to go on the right hand side of the vise. Okay, yep, I have to go on the right hand side of the vise unless I change all my numbers to a minus. But they're all pluses. I like to work in the plus area and not the minus. So basically I will set the tool in like that against the back side. And what I'll have to do is I'll spin my material in reverse instead of forward. So I want to pick up this back edge first. So we're going to move over here and hopefully pick up this edge here. And what I'm going to use is I have a chair, what's called a chair edge finder. And that is like that. I use that on the jig board because that gets you dead on. That slot is exactly, the center line of that slot is exactly on the center line of what fits up against the back of the jaw. I like using that if I want to get it really, if I'm going to go plus minus 10, then I'll just use my edge finder. Well, that's actually good down to plus minus, I'd say anywhere between 2 and 5, depending on how real careful you are. But I don't trust it for anything closer than that. And plus, like I say, I like using this anyway. So, shift into neutral here. And I have to get it close first. Move my Z up a little bit, up above. I'm just gonna, there we go, that's pretty close right there. Just gonna eyeball it first. About there. And I'll move my Z back down. Okay. Alright. That's 0 right there. Get here. Get my mirror here so I can look at the back side. Looks like I'm 15, 17 thou above. So you want to move it in to about 8 thou above. That'll get us close. So, back this off a little bit. There's 0. We're within 2 thou, so I just got to move it a thou. Go the right way here. plenty close enough. It's within a quarter of a thousandth. Within a couple tenths. So now that's I know where the back edge is. I'm going to zero my machine out, my y-axis. So I just zeroed my y-axis. Now, loosen this up, take this out of there. Now the tool goes in. And what I do is I take and just put a parallel in there to hold the tool straight. And I'm going to, I don't know if I can use that wide parallel. Alright, I'll just lay a parallel across the top, take this parallel back out, because the thickness, it would clamp on the parallel before the tool. So I'll just hold it up against the bottom of the parallel to keep it straight. Need 3 hands. Looks straight there. And I'll tighten that up. Okay, the next thing I do, just to get myself close, I never move the y-axis now. Because that, like I say, that's the same thing as the center line or the height, tool bit height on the lathe. So you visualize that as being in the tool post. That's the center line of the. So now we got to find our X, which would be the center line of our material. And what I do just to get close, I'll take my indicator out of there. And actually, now I need to take that collet out, and I'm going to put my material in. Come on. I need a power drawbar, really. That's what I should invest in. Right, I need a 1/2 inch collet. My material. I'm going to stick that in here. There. Okay. I got to remember now, I got to switch my spindle to reverse, not to forward. Put it back in here. Okay, so to get myself close, damn close, put that in reverse, and then I start my spindle up, and I'm going to bring my Z down. Okay, now I'm going to move my X over until she touches. Right there. Now I'll take and move my Z up. You'll see where I'm going now when I get. Okay. So turn the spindle off, and now we'll measure that. And that'll tell me where I'm at. That is 190, 194 thousandths, 194 thousandths, right? 95. I'm going to get a mic. Yeah, I'll mic it. I want it to be fairly close. I don't want to. It is. Yeah, it wasn't even wasn't even close with that. Calipers, what's going on here? I'm 208 is what I'm at. So half of 208, 104. So that's what I'm going to set my X at. I'm going to set it at 104. So I'm going to zero my X. Come on. Okay, I zeroed my X, and I know it's sitting at 104, so I'm going to go turn my relative on, and I'm going to type in 104, and I'm above the tool, yep, and I'm going to move over 104. That should put it right on center line, right there. Now it's on center line. Now I'll zero X again. Now I want to get my Z height, and that's not real critical because I'm facing the end off. So what I do is I just crank it up until it touches, and I'll move my X out of there, and then I'll just crank it up a little more because it's going to face that off. So it should be ready. We're sitting ready to go. Oh, I got to zero my Z. Turn my relative off. Zero Z. Now we're sitting ready to go. I don't have the program loaded in yet, but when I run my first one, I'll come back and show you. But everything should be set now. So when I run my program, it's going to go to center line, so that faces it off, and it's going to back out, do the chamfer, and it's going to come up. I'm thinking I might take that in 2 cuts, a roughing cut and then a finish cut. So I'm going to go ahead. I didn't put all the numbers in. I'm not done writing the little program. I got all the numbers written on my map, but I haven't gotten them put into the program yet. All it is a text file, and it's basically what I call longhand, programming longhand. So I put in all the G codes and spindle feed or feed rates and spindle RPM and stuff. I'm going to run the spindle at max, which is on this machine is 6 grand. So I'll be running 6,000 RPM, feed rate probably 5 or 6 inches a minute. I'll stay on the conservative side. I know I probably could go a lot faster, but that's okay. Not trying to break any land speed or ground speed records or whatever. So, but anyway, the ones that I put together here the other day, I haven't glued the electrode in yet. I went to do that, and my super glue had all set up, so I didn't have any super glue, so that's just pushed in there. But I'm thinking about maybe setting up and doing the blanks, or doing some blanks for the bases on my mill, turning also, and which would be turning the ODs, and then I'd probably set up another tool on the other end of the vise to see this isn't glued in, to do the counter bore and drill the hole all the way through. So let's see. Yeah, I could put the drill in a. Matter of fact, I could make myself a block to mount in the vise. I could make myself a block and then have my tool bit that I have right now in there, and then I could have a hole drilled for the drill in there and locked with a set screw, and then I could have a boring bar set up over here. So then I could come down and do my outside work. Well, actually it would be the outside of, I could do the outside of this. It wouldn't be the same tool bit, it would be a different tool bit, because I could be a wider grooving tool instead of narrow. I could do the profile, come up, come over, peck drill, because I'd be over top of the center of the drill, peck drill all the way through, come up, come over, and then move my X off and bore it to the right depth. I might have to do that. Now it saves a lot of work doing that. I don't have an NC lathe, obviously, or otherwise I'd be doing it on an NC lathe. But with these extensions that I have 2 or 3 different sizes. I bought them at a 5S sale at where I work. They were throwing them out, and they went into a 5S sale, and I bought 1/2 inch, I think 3/4, and there was some 1 inchers, but I missed out on those. So they have, I'm not sure what the style collet is in it, but it's, so. But anyway, that's something to think about, that I could do that. I could do the steel part, the bottom base of the spark plugs in the same fashion. It wouldn't take much work to make a block with a drill and a boring bar set up in it. And I could actually put this tool bit, a pocket in for this tool bit, so that it would be on the center line of, so all 3 of them would be on the same center line. Just so do the profile, move over, pack, move over, bore. I'll have to think about that. It's a little bit more complicated, but not really. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and easy once you've done a couple. I've done spark plugs this way for not only the Little Demon, but I've done other spark plugs the same way, and I've done some other little parts that way too. So, but I've only used 1 tool all the time. But I could make it so that I could use 3 tools. I can make it use as many tools as I wanted if I set them up. So anyway, next time we come back, I'm going to go ahead and run one, and we'll see how it turns out. But right now I have to go and do some other stuff. So, I have other things that I have to get done. Oh, and I did find, I was going to order some more 20,000 drills, which I did. I did go and order some. And then I was digging through my small drill, and I found an envelope of about 7 or 8 of them. So I do have the drills to go ahead and drill them too. I'll use my high-speed lathe attachment to drill those. So anyway, till next time, catch you later. Thanks for watching.